let's build a campaign. Now, you could select leads just on this page. I want to select all 261. You do have a certain amount of leads out of the 261 you can pick, as well as if you have a postcard budget. So obviously, the more you order postcards through us, obviously you get a better discount, but you put in a dollar amount, we will select the amount of leads that you can market to based on your budget. I'm going to select all. Now, the first thing I want to do is build a campaign. Now, this is just for you, the campaign name. Okay, so I might want to do Houston. I could do absentee vacant. And I know that I did 50% equity as an example. And again, this is just for you to understand what did you do here. You can select a campaign type here if you want. I'm going to keep it general because I did a list stack. So there's a couple of different lead types here. And then I'm going to take these leads and move them to a campaign. Now, if I go back over to the main menu, I go to marketing. You're going to see the Houston campaign right here. Now you have some opportunities. Now I could click on the campaign name and actually go through each property. Okay. At this point, I don't want to overanalyze stuff. I already know that it meets my filter criteria. I want to market these people. You can order postcards. You can print letters. We have tons of letter templates for you. You can clean the list. Okay. And then export the list because maybe you do something different with it, as well as you could do a bulk skip trace on this list too, for those of you that just, hey, I want to pick up the phone and call. So you have multiple different ways and things that you could do with this list, just depending. If you do postcards, I'm going to show you some capabilities here. You select your workflow. Do I want to send 1, 2, or 3 mailers out? In this case, I'm just going to select one. If I had selected 2, you could say the frequency of that. Okay. I'm going to do this postcard, and then in 2 weeks from now, I'm going to do something else. Print date here. If you, hey, you're going on vacation, but you want to make sure that you get the order in so you don't forget, you could set that print date. So while you're on vacation, you've already placed the order and select when you want these to be printed and sent to the post office. We're then going to continue. Now, we have several postcards in here. There's a couple of custom postcards. Now, this is based on the general category. You can go in and select all categories. You might like a postcard that, maybe is underneath one of these other ones. I could go to absentee owners here. And this is just me using a custom one. That's why there's 2 of them there. But you can see that we have just these postcards. So one of our favorites is this card. It's one of our most popular. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to hit continue. Now you have the ability to go in and actually set your contact information. This is going to go, if you look at the postcard to the right, contact line 1 and 2. So if I just go in and select that, you're going to see your information. This is how people are going to contact you. Me personally, I like to put the phone number first and a web address below. If you don't have a website, obviously you could put an email address or you could just leave it blank. Now, if you want a return address, you could click that as well. It's going to show up here by the postage. If you want a postcard sent to you, all you have to do is just enter your information in here. We do charge you for it, of course, but you can actually get the postcard in. You can see it, you can touch it. I'm going to move to continue. This gives you an opportunity to approve this list. Now, to me, this is so important, especially any list, but vacant list for sure. You need to do this. We're going to actually clean the list. As we all know, tax assessors are not perfect. Okay, so we need to standardize the address. We need to check for address errors. We need to see if there's a forwarding address. We call it list made because we're cleaning the list. Okay, so we get charged for it, so we pass the costs on to you guys, but I highly recommend you do this. If I go ahead and pay for this, I'm gonna let this run. It may take a second here. I need to know out of that total quantity, how many of these are good? I have 6 address errors. 236 are good leads. So this is going to save you money because if you were to send them all out, we know that there were some issues because of tax assessor doesn't agree with the post office because they don't communicate with each other. You do have the opportunity, once you place this order, to go back and see the address errors, make corrections to these properties, and move them to another campaign and then send it out in a future mailing. You will now see this will be the final checkout process for you at this point. I'm not going to place the order, but once you do place the order, it's going to say reorder here. You're also going to see this list made complete. Now, if I click on here and hit view errors, I'm going to be able to go through and see what errors are on this particular property. So the post office, not the tax assessor, the post office is sending this particular error. It says the premise, house, or building number for the address is not valid through the post office. Now, like I said, we all know the tax assessor is never always going to be perfect, just like all of us. So we need to understand, okay, maybe we need to research this property. I like to go to Google. That's the very first place that I go to. You then have the ability to come back and fix this address, whatever it is. I then could check this, go up to my actions. I can either move it to do not mail, add to my property section, or a marketing campaign. Of course, I could delete it as well. That's going to give me an opportunity now to go back. Okay. Anything else from this point, Bo?
No, but just kind of going off of that, add to the do not mail list. If you find this just a bad address, you can add it to the do not mail, which would prevent in the future that address from popping up and going
Yeah.
through any kind of mail.
Up here. Yep.
Yep.
So you can import leads, you can archive campaigns, you can custom postcards, custom letters. You could do all that as well. We do have tons of templates for you to use, but if you have something special, unique, maybe branded to your company you want to import, you can do that here as well. Lead generation is the most important thing. This is one way of finding leads. We talked about driving neighborhoods as well, putting the addresses in here. 90% of your time has to be about finding deals, period.